Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Cook. I'm chairman of the board of directors, and welcome to the Phyllis Watkins Day. Join us in celebrating her life and her legacy by making a donation today.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first annual Phyllis Watkins Day. My name is Zach. I am the Development and Marketing Director here for Alzheimer's Arkansas, and I am joined by Carolyn Berry, our Executive Director.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Phyllis Watkins Day. I am so excited to be able to kick off the first annual Phyllis Watkins Day. Just a little disclosure. Before we start, we did have an open house planned today. However, due to some COVID concerns, we decided to postpone it. We at Alzheimer's Arkansas, we are committed to the health and safety of the participants, the community, our staff, and the organization just would like to take steps to make sure that everybody is safe during this COVID time and the increased cases during um, this time in Little Rock. So, with some other concerns, we just kind of decided to postpone it, but we are working on a new date. So, look for that date and information concerning that.
And you can check out all day today. We will be going live at various different times, so you will still get the chance to see different staff members. Right now, you have Carolyn and I. Later today, you'll have Gigi, our Education and Outreach Manager, Amanda, our Grants Coordinator. So you'll have the chance to meet staff, ask questions on live, and just learn more about what we're doing.
What we do, yes. So, uh, at Alzheimer's Arkansas, we are committed as well as to carry on and support the caregivers across Arkansas. We have continued to do that during COVID, and we are going to find creative ways to ensure that the caregivers can still get the education, support, and resources that Phyllis knew was needed for caregivers. So we want to carry on her legacy even through COVID. So without you, we can't do that. So that's why we continued with the virtual Phyllis Watkins Day. And I'm going to tell you, every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. So we take dollars, we take change, but caregivers need our support. If you've ever been a caregiver, if you know of caregivers, especially someone that has dementia, their loved one has dementia, namely Alzheimer's, it is tough. Resources are not out there, they're hard to get, and we try our best to support them in many ways. We do that, like Zach said, with grants, education, support. We support groups, workshops, and we are still creating ways for 2021 to ensure that we can bring those programs and services. So I would like to personally thank my staff here at Alzheimer's Arkansas for digitally working through COVID and make sure that caregivers are supported. So thank you. And we only can do that because of you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and Carolyn, I know that we know who Phyllis is, but for our viewers who may not, can you give us an overview of who Phyllis Watkins was and why this day is so important?
One thing I kind of, hate is that I never met Phyllis. She had passed along by the time I came along and never really met her personally. But the thing I know is because of what she left, I feel like I know her. So Phyllis left a legacy of devotion and service to our organization. So in 1994, she became the first paid staff and executive director of Alzheimer's Arkansas. She was the only staff. She began like the only paid by herself. Everyone else was like support group facilitators. So she started it by herself. She grew the organization into a staff of 6. She was deemed a state treasure for her efforts to caregivers uh, across our state. We heard CJ, we have a video by CJ Shane just saying how much she invested in caregivers across Arkansas. She was always there. So she left that legacy and we still try to continue that. She led the organization through the separation from the association to an independent organization that we have today. She started many of the programs we have, including the FAP, which is the Family Assisted Program Grant, which are the funds that we raise and provide to caregivers for a lot of different reasons. That grant can be used for respite care. It can be used for small home modifications. We bought washers and dryers. We bought so many type of things. We pay utility bills with that money, and that is why we're raising money today. So she started the Family Assisted Program Grant and the Hope for the Hope workshop that we are looking forward to have this year under COVID guidelines. So look out for information with that. So Phyllis was a GM. She started this organization on devotion and compassion, and we look forward to carrying her legacy throughout the years to come.
Right. And so when you donate today, you are helping fund those programs that Phyllis cared deeply about. And so in the links on this live, you'll see a link to go donate. And you can do that right now. And, right now we are at $880 already raised of our $10,000 goal for the day. And so we want to thank our generous donors who have already helped make that happen. But whether you donate $5, $10, or $100, that money is staying right here in Arkansas, and it is going to help caregivers across the state. And the biggest program that it's going to help is that Family Assistance Program Grant. And of course, Amanda will be on later today at 12:30 with us talking more about that grant and the impact that has on caregivers, around the state.
Thank you, Zach. Absolutely, like that grant, we get how many people? Like the number changed. I remember the 2019 year, like we've serviced over 17,000 caregivers across Arkansas in some form or fashion, and your donation helps us to do that. There are so many people when I go out that is so grateful for that grant, that family assistant grant. You may think it's little, however, it is changing people's caregiving journey. It supports them when they feel like they can't go on anymore, especially when it comes to things that are financial. Is it a light bill? Is it the washer broke down and I can't take my loved one with me to the laundromat? And it's just kind of difficult to get to a laundromat, especially these days with COVID. People feel some type of their safety is at hand. So there are helping order groceries, like just the little things that we see as little, but is life changing to caregivers across Arkansas. And I know Phyllis knew that sometimes we think it's the big things that change lives, but a lot of times it's those things that we see as small that's making a big difference in lives for people.
And it's so important for caregivers to be able to take that break, right? And so, we had someone recently who inquired, about using the grant to be able to hire someone so they can go on a fishing trip, which sounds so minor, right? For a lot of us, but for someone who hasn't had a break in 2 or 3 years, that's a huge deal. And we know that about 30% of caregivers over the age of 65 will pass away before the person they're caring for, just due to the overwhelming stress of being a caregiver. And so
Absolutely.
It's so important that you get that break. And that's what these funds are for. These funds are to help you to be able to get that much needed break.
Yeah, and the reality is there are a lot of people that need a break, and they have to pay someone to come in. And sometimes, it's an organization, sometimes it's a family friend. That's the great thing about our grants. It has stipulations, but very few. We make it caregiver friendly so they can get the respite they need. They don't have to jump through hoops to get it. We ask for a diagnosis and the need, and that's about it. If you can provide us with the diagnosis as we need it and you have a need for respite, we can help you if we have the funds available. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we ask for the monies. I wish I had a forever going pot to always provide care to caregivers, but we can't do this without the people across Arkansas helping us to provide that that care to caregivers. And I think the reality is, if you're not the caregiver, you know someone that is caregiving, have caregive, and will caregive in the near future. So we just want to be able to provide the resources and the risk, because it is a health concern for caregivers. They're the second, I call them the second patient, because they're making sure their loved one is taken care of, but who's taking care of them? And guess who's taking care of them? Alzheimer's Arkansas. So
in reality, it's you. It's the donor who's helping take care of them, right? It's your money that is helping that happen. So whether you give $10 today, you know what? $350 will fund one family assistance program grant. And so that is, just a little over $20 a month. So if you wanted to become a monthly donor today, there's an option on here to do that. But $350 or just $20 a month can fund one of the family assistance program grants. And that's huge. And that just makes a huge difference in somebody's life.
It's absolutely huge. I don't know how else to tell you how much it makes a difference to the loved ones because you can't take care of somebody as a caregiver, you can't take care of your loved one if you're not taking care of yourself. So that's why the mission, our tagline is caring for the caregiver. We need to take care of caregivers so they can continue to take care of their loved ones. I don't know how many people say they want to keep their loved ones at home as long as possible. And helping us, donating to us, you are helping them keep their loved ones at home as long as they can. So help support Alzheimer's Arkansas, care for the caregiver.
And again, that link to donate, it's right there in the comments. It'll take you to this site right here where you can make that donation today in honor or in memory of Phyllis Watkins and her legacy that she's left on this organization. And again, all the funds that you donate stay right here in Arkansas. And even if you can't donate, share the link out. Share it with your friends. Let your friends know what's going on. A lot of times people will give just because you asked. So make that ask. Because again, all that money helps caregivers, and it's very, very much needed, especially with, we went through a rough year with COVID. So caregivers have been under a lot of stress, and they are needing to get that respite. And so it's super important. And your donation will help. Your donation helps ensure that happens.
Absolutely. So like Zach said, we will have Amanda on. She's the grant coordinator a little later. She's going to tell you about grants and how they help. We're going to talk to Gigi. She's education and outreach. We may have a video. Do we have another video you may show?
Yeah, we have CJ. We'll hear from CJ Shane later today as well. Yeah, absolutely.
So look for all our upcoming events and programs that we have planned for the rest of the year, because caregivers need us, and we are trying our best to provide programs and services under the current environment. So thank you for your support as always. I'm in the office today. Give me a call if you have any questions, and thank you so much. Thank you, Zach, for having us on today.
Yes, thank you again. And again, that link to donate's in the comments. We'll be back again at 12:30 with Amanda to talk more about grants. See y'all then.
See you later.